FortiSOAR auto-saves playbooks so that you can recover playbook drafts in case you accidentally close your browser or face any issues while working on a playbook. These auto-save drafts do not replace the current saved version of the playbook and only ensure that you do not lose any of your work done in the playbook by enabling you to recover the drafts. Playbook recovery in FortiSOAR is user-based, which ensures that users see their own unsaved drafts of the playbook. Since it is also browser-based, it comes into effect as long as the same browser instance is used by the user. Also, playbook drafts might not be saved if you are working in incognito mode. By default, FortiSOAR saves playbook drafts 15 seconds after the last change. However, you can change this time across all playbooks by modifying the time, in seconds, on the Application Configuration tab on the System Configuration page. The minimum time that you can configure for saving playbook drafts is 5 seconds after the last change. You can also choose to disable playbooks recovery for all playbooks. You can define a time zone that FortiSOAR uses by default for exporting reports. FortiSOAR applies this time zone to all reports that you export from the Reports page. A FortiSOAR VM needs access to a few different FQDNs on the Internet. For upgrading FortiSOAR, installing connectors, and accessing the widget library, ensure FortiSOAR has HTTPS access to update.cybersponse.com. For installing Python dependencies for connectors, make sure your FortiSOAR VM has HTTPS access to pypi.python.org. You can also use the parallel Python repository URL, https://update.cybersponse.com, with some configuration if your organization does not approve PYPI. For synchronization of FortiSOAR license details, make sure FortiSOAR VM has HTTP access to globalupdate.fortinet.net. If you configure any SaaS or API endpoints, for example, VirusTotal, make sure your FortiSOAR VM can connect to them. You must ensure that these endpoints are open from the organization's proxy. You can configure your proxy for the first time using the FortiSOAR configuration wizard. If you subsequently need to change the proxy, then you can use the CSADM CLI commands or use the UI as specified in the following procedure. Use the user-specific audit log section to view the chronological list of all the actions across all the modules of FortiSOAR for a particular user. Users can view their own audit logs by clicking the user profile icon, selecting the Edit Profile option, and then clicking the Audit Logs panel. Administrators who have a minimum of read access on the Audit Log Activities module, along with access to the People module, which allows them to access a user's profile, can view user-specific audit logs. The user-specific audit log also displays user login success or failure and logout events. The login event includes all 3 supported login types, which are DB login, LDAP login, and SSO login. The user-specific audit logs display the same information as the audit log, and you can also perform the same actions here as you can perform in audit logs. You can export administrative settings and customizations that you make to FortiSOAR VM. For example, you can export the system settings, such as branding and notifications, SSO, and LDAP configurations, high availability configurations, proxy and environment variables, and so on. Passwords are write-only fields, and therefore, you cannot export them using the configuration manager. If, for example, you export the LDAP configurations and import them into another FortiSOAR VM, you must manually enter the passwords for all the users to be able to perform any activity related to users, such as searching for users or updating details of users. You can also export security settings, which includes users, teams, and roles that exist in your FortiSOAR VM. Congratulations! You have completed this lesson. Now you will review the objectives that you covered in this lesson. This slide shows the objectives that you covered in this lesson. By mastering the objectives covered in this lesson, you learned how to configure applications, proxy, and reverse proxy, as well as monitor, maintain, and purge audit logs. You also learned how to export and import modular configurations from a FortiSOAR instance.